3, 2, 1. Hitting the live stream.
Hello, folks. Hello. It's about 3 minutes to 9. Yes, we're just coming in for the pre-chat, pre-show, I should say. Forgive Gary and I because we're both a bit full of cold. So if I to mute my microphone while I cough. But anyway.
Yeah, it's man flu. It's definitely not cold. It's man flu.
Yes, yes. This man here. Sorry, that man there. This man here. Yeah. I've still got the other shot, but I've got that shot applied. Yes. So yeah, Gary and I are a bit sniffly, bit of man flu going on. Silent 79's run out of milkshake. That is not good. Wow. Hello, Mike B. I was talking about you earlier because I saw you logged into chat. Yeah, but I didn't know who you were today. And then you're there. Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Like 2 minutes to go. Yes.
And everything's gone spazzy my end yet again as my display driver crashes. It's fine. It's back.
Oh, good.
It doesn't like playing producer as well as.
Well, tonight's show is brought to you by Five Alive.
Yeah.
Other juices are available.
I might gradually sink down the chair during the broadcast of this.
It's all good. That mouse. Hello, Yoda. Scarlet Kell. Rob. Cornish. Fuzzy Ann. Who else can I see? Auntie M. Miles. Hello, Miles. Breakfast is safe in Mars's hotel because he's down there.
Oh.
It's all good. But no black pudding. Shame. Dear, well, we've got a minute to go.
Yep.
And hi-fi studs in the room. Hello, Mr. Dawn. I hope the work is going well for the studio. I've seen the pictures you've been tweeting. Very nice. And I've got one of them lights up there now. Yeah. Very nice. I like it a lot. A bit muffled. It's probably just my voice.
Yeah.
As opposed to the microphone, which I've just dropped.
Coming via man flu muffled tonight.
So I do sound a little bit on the bunged side. I do apologise.
You need one of these.
Is that a plastic tampon? Oh look, we got about 15 seconds. So I'm going to put the bug up, and then we're going to come back. Oh, see you soon. Good evening, good evening, good evening. As Gary and I were just saying pre 9 o'clock, we're both a bit bunged tonight, so if my voice is a bit, I do apologise. Same for Mr. Dibley. Yes, it is 9 o'clock and it's Tuesday, looking at my other screen just to get the date right. It is Tuesday the 25th of November 2014. It's a month to Christmas. OMG. Not good at all. So on tonight's show, it's been quite a good day today for news. Well, the past couple of days have been quite good for news, so we'll bring you some news stories, and we've got the latest edition of MFT from Mr. Dibley with his acrylic. We've got an announcement about the Children in Need raffle. We've got an announcement about a vape meet in December. And all that is after what we like to call the titles.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
Yes, good evening, good evening. It is just after 9 on Tuesday the 25th. Had a bit of a coughing fit there during the titles. And Mr. Hi-Fi Stud, bunged. Yes, B-U-N-G, not B-U-M-M-E-D. Not bummed, bunged. Yes, second class return to Nottingham, please. So hopefully my voice is going to last out for the show. Otherwise, I'm just going to put it on Garry, and Garry can say everything. Anyway, and he's here. Yes, look, he's there. No, he's not. He's there. He's here. Look, hello, Mr. Dibley.
Hello, I'm not saying anything. I'm just going to mong in the corner tonight. So we're both buggered.
we're both bunged. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, don't forget you can tweet the show at hashtag Vaper Scene. And some people have already been doing that. Jester 2109 says, time to leave the pub and return to hotel to watch hashtag Vaper Scene, quietly lurking anonymously in the background. Not so anonymously now, Jester 2109. And of course, Vaping Juggler tweeted as well. Oh, nice Hi-Fi Stud. I'm watching Marco and Garry's live broadcast about e-cigs. Come and join me. Hashtag Vaper Scene. Good man, Mr. D. And also Ridian Vaping Juggler there. It's Tuesday. Hashtag Vaper Scene on Vapor Charles TV. Enough said. In it though. Yeah. So there you go. That's what you need to do. Tweet hashtag Vaper Scene, and we'll pick up your tweets during the show. Now, there's been quite a few stories around today. Let's clear that off the screen. Yes, been quite a few stories around today, and the big one is this one on the BBC. E-cigarette lure fears might be unfounded. Might be. Oh yes. So data from the ONS, that's the Office for National Statistics, indicate those who use e-cigarettes are almost entirely current or former smokers. Proportion of adults who smoked cigarettes has fallen to 19%. Now, most of the figures from the ONS are from 2013, so it's possible the picture is still changing. Well, we know it is, that's for sure. And there's a few little graphs that they put up as well. And you see there a green line, a blue line, and a red line. Blue being smokers, green being smokers who have quit, and red, people who've never smoked cigarettes. Yes, nice graph. I like visuals. And on the subject of nicotine, e-cigarettes have been increasing in popularity since they were introduced in Europe in 2006. Some say they could normalise smoking or be a gateway to smoking by introducing non-smokers to nicotine, while others feel they are a useful way to get people off tobacco. And another little graph here, the proportion who use e-cigarettes by cigarette smoking status. So 12% smokers, 5% ex-smokers, and 0.14%, that's fewer than 1 in 300, have never smoked, currently use e-cigarettes. Now, that could be favoured e-sheesh, couldn't it? You know, somebody who just fancies e-sheesh. And some people do like just no nicotine, but the action of the vaping. If they've been away, for instance, and they've used a hookah pipe, a shisha pipe on holiday, maybe they fancy doing that. So, you know, it's kind of swings and roundabouts there, isn't it? Just going back to the story, yeah? About 1 in 10 current cigarette smokers surveyed, and 1 in 20 of the former smokers said they were now using e-cigarettes. And Professor Kevin Fenton, National Director of Health and Wellbeing at Public Health England, said, given the number of smokers now using e-cigarettes, people needed to be assured of their quality and safety. And Dr. Penny Woods, Chief Exec of British Lung Foundation, said, these data, a bit of a typo there by the way, but I think that should be this. This data should be, again, alleviate the fears expressed by some over an e-cigarette gateway effect. People trying e-cigarettes before moving to the much more harmful practice of smoking. However, this is something we will need to keep a watchful eye on, as the situation may change as e-cigarettes continue to become more commonplace. Well, I see that as Vapers 1, anti-nil. I thank you. Mr. Dibley, what do you make of that?
Yeah, about the lure fear. I try and lure as many people as I can into vaping. I'm sure most people do. Yeah, it's I haven't read it, to be honest with you, but I this lure fear, I don't quite get it. You know, what? So people are luring people into vaping, are they? With an effort to make them start smoking. You have to excuse me, I'm on drugs tonight, but I don't get it at all, to be honest with you. I don't get what I never get the gateway thing. I don't get the gateway from vaping to smoking. It works the other way. Pretty sure of that, and most people that have you know, smoked and have tried vaping, I don't think would go back unless some bugger takes it away from them.
Hopefully, I've just been looking at our Skype chat. Hopefully my audio is a bit better. I had to tweak it earlier because I could hear all the fans on my PC. So hopefully that is now going to be a little bit better. I'm going to tweak it a little bit more. There we go. You might get some background noise from my fans because this microphone picks up everything, but you should be able to hear me properly now. Apologies for that. It was fine when we set up, but I just dialed it down slightly. Yes, the whole gateway effect. I mean, we've seen this argument so many times, haven't we? People alluding to the fact that e-cigs, someone can use an e-cig, especially a child or a young person, and then go and buy a pack of 20 tabs for £9. It's not going to happen, is it? It's all made up by people who are either too scared to try to understand or simply don't want to understand vaping. Yeah, I reckon you're probably right there. And Rob's, just a little message there for Stan the Glands. Yes, absolutely. Okay, just looking at our Skype chat there to see what the guys thought of my audio. Jester 2109, yes, can hear. Yay, can hear Marco at last. Yes, I do apologise about that. Dialed it down a little bit too much. The other good news. Interesting, Sam. I might come back to that, Sam, what you just typed in the chat. The other good news was from the Welsh Assembly. There was a public vote on their website. Should the use of e-cigarettes in public places be banned? And you can see there from that graphic that 5% said yes and 95% said no. And the interesting fact is, when you see the actual numbers, it was 138 people who voted yes and 2,563 people voted no. That's about 18.5 to 1 ratio of people who voted no to yes. Now, I don't know who they asked. I don't know what the demographics were of the people who actually, voted on that. I would think that probably nearly all of the people who voted no were vapers. So hopefully the Welsh Assembly have got the picture. But I do see that as Vapers 2, anti-nil. Yeah, I just thought I'd put that little graphic up. Because it's not often we get good stories, is it really? And both of those are definitely good. What do you think of the results of that poll, Gary?
That's quite significant, really, isn't it? I think it also goes to show that when, if they are all vapers, that rallied together and the amount of people who could be asked, should I say, to turn out and vote no, was so insignificant that it just swayed it. I mean, how do if you speak to the general public and you say to them, do you want this banned in that? Do you want that banned in a public place? David's story yesterday about some woman who chased him down and said that's disgusting after going through a park full of prostitutes and beer drinkers and people smoking and people smoking spliffs and all sorts. He didn't say prostitutes. I added that in. But after that, that one woman was probably the person who would turn out and vote no. because it offended her in some way, shape, or form. And you wonder why when she's just run all through that and grabs it. But there are people like that out there. But it goes to show that vapors, when they rally, and when there's something that's worth fighting for, they do come out in force and make a difference on a boat like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Where's my shot gone? There it is. My shots keep moving. I just saw in chat there, Jester, Vapers 3, Antis 0, Marco. They tried to kill our petition today in the Welsh Assembly and failed. Boo-rah! We like a bit of that. If I had time, I'd do another little scorecard, but I haven't, because I might just muck everything up. So it's 3-0. 3-0 to Vapers today. Now, here's another one for you. I saw this online. This is a letter that was sent into the Derbyshire Times. E-cigs are an antisocial act. Now, the letter. There we go. And I've just got to read this because it is so crazy. There is supposed to be a no smoking ban in this country in public and workplaces. This means pubs, restaurants, cafes, etc. We understand this includes the so-called e-cig. We have been horrified in the last 3 weeks visiting a local cafe in town, pub restaurant, and twice another restaurant. We have seen people openly and nip into WC and in the actual restaurant smoking e-cigarettes. It has been confirmed by the NHS and medical specialists that e-cigs contain a minimum of 2% nicotine and various chemicals, and they do give off acrid smoke, which I and my friends could taste 3 tables away from the smokers. As 2 of us were asthmatics, it affected our lungs, throat and sinuses. In our view, it is a health hazard, an antisocial act imposed on all non-smokers. If I or my friends witness this disgusting habit again, I can assure the owners of any cafe, restaurant or pub that we will report to the Environmental Health Department. And now, I'm not sure who wrote that, but it's attributed to Mr. and Mrs. D. Reynolds, Ms. E. Johnson and Mr. P. Smith. The grammar, first of all, in that letter, I'm sorry, fail, big fail. Dictionary thesaurus should be on your Christmas card list, your Christmas present list. They all contain 2% nicotine. Really? That's news to me. And they could taste it, and it affected them 3 tables away. Well, they must have noses like massively big noses and humongously good lungs if they're going to get it from 3 tables away. What do you make about that, Mr. D?
I love that. No, that's fantastic. I love the way they sneak into the toilet to use their dirty things.
Oh, WC?
Well, it's a posh toilet at WC. Is it the best bit in there is that they're all asthmatics. I'm asthmatic and have been a chronic asthmatic for most of my youth. While smoking and being an asthmatic, I was a complete. I'm being good tonight.
Yeah, be good, please.
And I can, an asthmatic saying that it affects them is complete shite. I said shite. It is propane glycol. Well, that stuff. It's in the bleeding asthma spray for starters. My health, and I've said this a load of times, I went from using probably 2 asthma sprays a week to using 1 inhaler a month. Within a period of switching to vaping, and at the point I'm at now, sort of, from 2009, it's down to minimal. I use it every now and then if I need it, So to get that from an asthmatic is complete and utter, yeah. It's wrong. I'm an asthmatic, and I know many asthmatics that vape, who smoked and who feel so much better and are less reliant on their prevention and the sort of the instant. There are 2 types of drugs you get for asthma. You get a prevention and you get an instant relief type drug. And the prevention one I've cut out completely. That's rubbish, complete rubbish, that it would make you half die at your table while ordering your food.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've just got a chat there. Sam Monroe. Oh, it's this on a set. Wrong mouse. There we go. Sam Monroe just commented in chat. Minor point. If you're smoking an e-cig, you're doing it wrong. Exactly right, my friend. Yes, we don't smoke e-cigs. We don't smoke anything. We vaporise nicotine-laced liquid and enjoy the vapour as it goes through our lungs and then out again. Yeah, it's lovely. So, to you, Mr. and Mrs. D. Reynolds, Ms. E. Johnson and Mr. P. Smith, you can contact the mental health if you like. Well, that's Garry Dibley. That's me. Yeah, you could contact them if you saw people vaping in places legally, because we can legally at this moment in time. That might change. Who knows? Blinking hope not. But yeah, it's up to you, isn't it? If you don't like it, then sit 5 tables away. But I'm sure you'll probably still feel it in your lungs and taste the acrid smoke of something that doesn't produce smoke. Anyway, that's my rant over. Yeah. Finally, let's go finally before we go into the first ad. Just a little story. And e-cigarettes can give you malware. And this has been kind of tweeted and Facebooked all over the place. I won't go through the whole thing. But basically what they're saying is that that malware could be hard-coded into the chips on USB devices and can infect your PC or your laptop and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things or weird and nasty things. Mr. Dibley, you're the man with the USB. I guess it is entirely possible that could happen.
It is, yeah. It is entirely possible that somebody could put something in there. But yeah, I mean, there's no getting away from the fact something you plug in your computer via USB could put something in there. But would they? What sort of malware? I know who was it? There was a famous brand that had something dodgy with one of theirs, wasn't there? That was encoded from somewhere far that infected a load of PCs, and that was a famous, a Samsung, Sony, that sort of a brand.
Other brands are of course available.
Yeah, they are. But yeah, it's entirely possible. Anything you plug in your PC could effectively carry a virus. But would they? I don't know. What would they put in there?
Well, yeah. I mean, it could be anything from a bot that then sends out spam, or secretly sits there and kind of does data logs. So when you're on your online banking, that kind of thing, before sending it off to the perpetrators. They are getting very, very clever. Very clever.
Yeah. And only takes one rogue person in a factory of that sort to slip something in, as they say. And yeah, you could do it. Yeah, it plugs in your PC. But I mean, personally, and going back a few weeks, I prefer anything like the little, the e-grip and the iStick, and to me that is charging. It eliminates, any problem. USBs are standard. It aids safe charging. With that, maybe there could come the potential of these little embedded viruses. But for me, I'm willing to take that risk.
Yeah. And of course, don't forget that could be any USB device, not
any USB,
particularly an e-cig USB device, any USB device. But there you go. I thought it was quite amusing. Let us go to the first set of ads, because we are now at 22 minutes past. So we'll go to the first set of ads, and we will see you very shortly. Tatty bye.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
And now it's back to Vaper Scene on Vapor Trails TV. Vaper Scene is sponsored by Healthy Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
Yeah, we're back in the room after the little ad break there. Welcome back to part 2 of this week's edition of Vaper Scene with myself and Mr. Garry Dibley. I keep doing that, Mr. Garry Dibley. Right hand, yeah. Me and him, basically. Yes. Now, on last week's show, I was going to show this bit of VT that I did the last time I was in Scotland. And as I explained at the beginning of this bit of VT, I recorded just loads of footage in the car, and I got home, took out my memory card and put it into my USB reader in the PC, took it out, whacked it into my editing software, and the sound was just abysmal. Don't know what happened there. So basically I went down the road and re-recorded it. So, which is probably good, and there's no noise. So basically I'm just going to go over the last 3 devices that I've looked at, because I've obviously kept using them, to give you kind of an updated thoughts. So here it is. It's a Marco's Vaper Trails episode. See you in a minute.
Hello, haha, it is I. Now here's the thing. I recorded a huge amount of VT on my way back from Scotland yesterday, and when I got back and I took the SD card out of my camera and put it into my PC and moved the files across, the sound was awful. I don't know why, it was just completely awful. Anyway, so I'm going to do it again for you. Yeah, so I've reframed and I'm sat in the car with no noise, no driving, and I thought, yes, I'll just do it again. So, what was I talking about in that bit of VT? I hear you ask. Well, what I was doing was talking about the devices that I've looked at recently. There was the Groove 2, and also the iTaste CLK 1280, and finally the email, the Kanga email that I looked at. And I was just going over them all again, really. Just to give you my updated feelings and how I think about the product and all that kind of what have you. So, well, how do I feel about these products? Well, here we go. We'll start with the CLK, which was the first one I did bring you. The 1280 milliamp hour battery, micro USB charger with the lanyard, which I haven't yet used. And I've still got the little lanyard attachment thing on it, and I'm still using the same juice as well. And this, of course, is the Decadent Vapors Blue Hawaii juice, VGPG, very citrusy. Quite nice, I have to say. Now, I still feel the same way about the Gladius tank. The battery, fine. I like the battery. It's variable voltage, it's twisty, dead easy, good charge on it, lasts a decent amount of time. What I don't particularly like is the airflow ring on this Gladius tank. It's too loose for my liking. And to get it right, you've got to fiddle around with it. And you can hear there, just too much air going through. Now that produces a decent amount of vapour, but still it's a bit airy for me. So I've really got to close it down to almost closed. And that for me is much better. So it's, you're probably not even going to see that, to be fair. You're probably not going to see exactly how closed it is. Yeah, you can just see. That's how closed I have to get it to get a decent draw on the Gladius tank. So, bit of a thumbs down for the Gladius tank overall. But the CLK battery, fine. There was some comments made about this particular battery, and that is that it would allow you to vape at a low resistance. Now, it does go down to 0.6 resolution, 0.6 resistance. Before it starts cutting out, and someone did vape or put something on there that was quite low. I've had no issues with it, to be fair, no issues at all, no issues with charging, no issues with actually using the device at all. My only issue is the tank. So that was the iTaste CLK 1280 Mar. We then looked at the email, which looks like it's slightly bent. I don't know, maybe I've sat on it. Don't know, it looks a bit weird, doesn't it? In fact, I've probably had it in my pocket and sat down, but it still works. Now, I was at one of my sites in Scotland and I thought I'd lost this, and they checked around for me, and I phoned the hotel I was staying at and I said, I think I might have lost an e-cig, can you have a look? And they had a look. And I just put the phone down to them and I saw it on my desk. I never actually took it to Scotland at all. But there you go. That's just how mad things get sometimes. So yes, the email, 3 clicks to change into the different voltages. So there was a 3.8, 4.2, 4.8. I like this device. You can see the size of my hand, so you can see the size of the device. It's fairly small, just under 6 inches. And the little tank produces lovely. Again, this has got the variable airflow ring, but it's a lot tighter to move. It's much better, and it's got little holes as opposed to a big slot, so that makes it easier as well. You can have 1 hole or 2 holes showing and open for the airflow. So yes, I like the tank a lot better than the Gladius tank. And it's still performing very nicely indeed. Again, easy enough to charge, and it lasted a reasonable amount of time. I don't use the same device all the time, unless it's something like the e-Vic where I use constantly. But what I've been doing over the past few weeks when I've been looking at these devices for you is that I've been keeping using them, so I can just build up more of a picture over the long term, as opposed to just open it up, show you, use it a few times, and then that's it. What I'm trying to do is to build up a kind of a longevity and a picture of all the devices that we show you. So yes, I'm using this on a daily basis, not all day, but on a daily basis. And that goes the same for the Groove 2. Now, I've been using that quite a lot. It's really good for the car because it sits on the seat quite nicely and it doesn't roll around, as opposed to the e-Vic or the SVD. The SVD, if I've got a device that might leak on it, I've been tending to stand up where I put my drinks in the drinks holder. But if I've got a drink in there, then I have to put it on the seat. And I've lost a bit of juice on my seat, which luckily has come out as I've cleaned it. Anyway, the Groove 2 from Smock, 3800 milliamp hour battery, built in, micro USB charged, as we saw. And I've been using it with the iClear XL tank, which I rather like, I must say. Very nice. This is a combination of Gin's Addiction and Earth Boy, I think. Yes, Halcyon Haze juices. And I've been using this at 12 watts pretty much all the time, I have to say. And it does produce a hell of a lot of vapour. Let me just let some of that out. There we go, it's going out now. Now, when you're in the car and you're driving and you open a window, it creates a little mini negative air vortex which sucks all the vapour out. When you're sat still, it doesn't do that. It just kind of drifts around, really. Just drifts around in the car. So I shall refrain from blowing huge amounts of vapour for the remainder of this VT. So, which device do I like the best? That's the thing. And I have to say I like all three. However, if I was going to put them in order of preference, I would put them the Groove 2 in number 1. Number 2 would be the email, cracking little. And the number 3 would be, yes. And why? Well, I like the fact that the email tank fits nicely on the email battery. It's nice and small. I can click in 3 different voltages very quickly. I don't have to muck about twisting anything. And it's nice and pocketable, even though it does appear that I've probably sat on it. The CLK is good, a little bit bigger, but I do like the emo. So number 1 would be the Groove 2. Like it a lot, plenty of power. It lasts for ages once it's charged, which is always very good when I'm on the road. So followed by the emo, and then third place is the iTaste CLK. All good devices overall, but my preference 1, 2 and 3. So next week, I had delivered on Friday, just as I was leaving to go to Scotland, I had delivered a Curve, which is from Totally Wicked. And that is the same as the iLeaf that Dave Dawn showed you, the one he took apart on the Haze Hour. It's basically the same device, just called a Curve. That came slightly different because it came in a kit with a tank and also with a 510 to Ego thread adapter and the USB charger. So I will show you that next week if I have time. For this weekend, I'm going down to London and I'm going to meet with Nigel Quinn from T-Juice, and I'm going to film down there in the new facility that he's had just moved into. So that should be all good. So with that, let's go back to the studio. Tatty bye. Yes, and it's back to the studio. Now, that was filmed 2 weeks ago for last week's show, but we didn't do it because we ran out of time, basically. And I did go down to London last weekend, but unfortunately, Nigel had to cancel because there were some issues with the new building. So we're going to rearrange going down there. Might be going down there next weekend. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that one. What did you make of those devices, Mr. D?
Yeah, well, I had the well, I've still got a few of the original grooves lying around, the ones that sort of had problems, and design hasn't changed much from what I can see, but obviously they've fixed the insulation issues that caused a lot of the problems. But yeah, I like that type of device, and I like I mean, I'm really getting into at the moment the mini type devices, liking those loads. My all day vape is something very similar. I like the iTaste VV battery still. That's the little pocket job that I take to work with me. But yeah, they all look like cracking little devices. But I tend to stick now to the Aspire tanks, and only recently the Aspire tanks since Vape Fest, I think, is when I found them. First time I tried one, and they seem to wick and juice. You can put anything in them. And my favourite at the moment is an 80-20 mix, and they just wick for fun. That's where I am.
Well, I have to say, I've got the iClear XL tank on the curve that I've been using for a couple of weeks now. I'm liking it a lot. I had it over the weekend and it lasted all weekend on one charge. Similar to the Groove 2. The Groove just sits on the car seat, and like I said, it doesn't roll around. With the eVic and the SVD, etc., I put them in the cup holder. But then, since I've got a penchant for Starbucks coffee, other coffee retailers are of course available, that sits in my cup holder. And I do have holders next to each other, but I can't put my e-cigs in because when I take with my coffee and or my can of beverage, variety, or a bottle of water or whatever, they kind of fall over. So I put them on my car seat and they roll around, and occasionally one might leak, and one leaked all over the car seat, so I had to clean it all up. Yes, I like the fact that the Groove doesn't just shift around everywhere, which is really good. And the rest of them, like I said, I like the email battery. It's a nice size, fits in my pocket quite nicely. And the battery, the CLK battery is good. I just don't like the tank, the Gladius tank, you know. And someone did post in chat that their wife has got one of these and they like them. Yeah, it's rather nice. And the bit I mentioned, on the back of the box, it does actually say short circuit protection 0.6 plus or minus 0.2 ohms. So it will cut out at a quite a low resistance. And I know, I can't remember who it was who told me about it, that they put a really low resistance coil on and it still fired. Well, it will fire to about between 0.6 and 0.4, which is probably not ideal for the size of the battery. But then if you know what you're doing and you can make a sub-ohm coil, you should know that it's not going to work on that kind of battery, really. It kind of stands to reason, doesn't it? If you can make a sub-ohm coil, you should really know what it should go on, and it should go on something that's got a decent ampage output and take a sub-ohm coil. So please, if you don't know what you're doing with sub-ohm coils, don't make them until you've got the right information to hand. I'm just seeing if there's anything coming through in chat. Some chat there about the TPD and TW's input into the court case. That'd be interesting to see what happens going forward with that. That's for sure. Okay, let's go to the last set of ads. When we come back, we've got Garry with this week's MFT and some children in need info. Yes, we'll see you in 2.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health e-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Y4 Radio.
And now it's back to Vaper Scene on Vapor Trails TV. Vaper Scene is sponsored by Healthy Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquids.
And we are indeed Vaper Scene Studio. Hello. Just talking to Gary there. I was at the hospital yesterday because I'm having an operation on my knee soon, I hope. But you have to go and have all the swabs and stuff to make sure you haven't got MRSA and all that malarkey, and an ECG. And I was sat to get this ECG, and the girl said, "I've got to shave you." I said, "What? You got to shave me?" Shaved my chest to put this sticker on, then ripped it off me afterwards. Most unkind, but there you go. The things you got to do to get your knee fixed. Anyway, there you go. So before we carry on with this week's MFT, I've got a Vape Meet announcement. There we go. The Vape Bar, Vape Meet, #4, raffle, cloud contest, music from DJ iPod Shuffle, beer if you're that way inclined, and I can't read the rest. Yeah, there's bits underneath that. Other tomfoolery. And it's December the 8th. And it is the Derby in Barrow. 246 to 248 Dalton Road, LA 14 1PN. Barrow in Furness. And you could probably go and get a submarine built at the same time, because they make them up there, don't they? So yes, 8th of December, the Vaper Bar presents Vape Meet #4. And if you do have a... we'll go to that one. If you do have a Vape Meet, you can always send us a little message, a little email to vaperscene@vaportrails.tv, or you can hashtag us at Vaperscene on Twitter, or you can send a message on Facebook or on the Vaper Trails TV Twitter feed. Yeah. So let's go to one. Yes. Let's go to this week's edition of MFT. Would you like to introduce it, Gary?
Yeah, go on then. I mean, this week I'm getting my big one out. Last time it's come out for a long time, and I'm going to get down and dirty with it on the lathe.
And we're back in the room once again. We were working on this last week. Still going to have a little bit of look at this today. I've got a problem, and the problem is my which was my bottom buttoned device, which should be going in here. However, unfortunately, is not going to be going in here. Dropped a major rollock, shall we say. You're going to have to get a completely different device. Yeah. Basically, we got a little Nemi clone. Now, obviously the problem is I didn't realise till I got it, should have looked into it a bit more. I don't use this type of device, so I very rarely look at the damn things. But basically, what the sort of the way that this works is it's with this locking ring. Once you've got it all adjusted in place, your switch is going to sort of sit sort of out there somewhere, depending on how you adjust the throw. I will say this is absolutely bloody awful. The switch is crunchy as hell, and it's just sharking. So yeah, the way that you do that is once you got set up, you would then use your lock-in ring. They're horrible things. It's just shocking, and the threads on it, bad. But yes, once you would have your throw set up on your switch, basically you would unlock your lock-in ring like that, which would see the switch comes with it and everything. It's terrible. It really is bad. But you can see the problem. I don't have that much sticking out the bottom of the mod, so I need to look at something else that's going to be a bit more appropriate for this. What I will be doing is I've been looking at, as I mentioned last week, about how we're going to do this. Now I've got to drill this out to 22mm. Before I go and spend any more money, I don't know how this acrylic's going to hold up. I've done a test drill on one piece already, and it just didn't hold up well. I'm not going to turn this down anymore. I'm going to try, after talking to Graham, he advised drilling before I shape, because what that will give me the ability to do is to drill this out, if I can, very slowly, drill it out, and then it will give me the ability, when I get a better bottom button, to then insert this, fix it in place, and then I'm going to have a solid, a solid base to work on, rather than trying to turn it down, losing a lot of the body of the acrylic, something that's going to hopefully keep it a bit more rigid. So we go from there. So what I'm going to do is get this off the mandrel for now, and I need to just take it, mark it out. What I'm going to do is mark down to roughly about 650, 700 on here to start with, and then I'm going to be marking up one of my bits, and I'm going to gradually have to take this out in size. Now I am going to be using probably a little bit of cutting oil on this, just to keep it as lubed as I can. When you're drilling something out, this size down to 22 mil, you're going to have to take that slow and keep it lubed, basically. I'm not going to ram this straight in. I'm going to take it out a bit first with another size, and we'll see how we go. Get this clamped in the jaws, head over to the lathe, and I'll be back in 2. Right, so we're on the lathe, and I've started taking this out. I've taken it out already down to a 12 mil. I'm just running a 16 mil through this now, taped off to round about 700-ish, because I've got to allow a little bit past me 650. Reasons for that. I'm not loving the way this is drilling at the moment. I don't know how it's going to finish when it's done. I just don't know. But it's as noisy as hell, this process. Now, hopefully, at some point during the editing, I might be able to mute this. It's not generating as much heat as I thought, because I'm taking it extremely slow, and little by little, extremely long process. I'm going to crack this up. We'll run a little bit, see how we go. But this is one of those processes that it's noisy, slow, painful, and could bugger up at any minute. Is the best way to describe it. You have to excuse me there for 2 seconds. Let me just power this up. Now I've got everything locked off because it was vibrating around like a good one. What I've had to do, stupidly, by rounding this, it wouldn't actually fit in any of my jaws. So I've had to put I've got a threaded bit that I've just screwed into the blank at the moment to get it opened out. I'm not promising on this one. I may well end up having to buy another chunk of material by the end of today, or revert to wood. I'm still learning myself on the lathe. I don't think anybody ever ceases to learn on the lathe, but I'm doing stuff with this that is out of my comfort zone at the moment. But we never know until we try, do we? So let me crank this up. You might want to stick your fingers in your ears for 2 seconds. This is noisy. going. See, this thing keeps jumping out of the tailstock. It's bloody annoying. As you can see, it's a pain in the bum. I've got to go down to here. I've got a long old way to go yet to reach that point. About another 1.5 inches, and I'm going to pop away. I'll come back when I'm on to Big Boy. I didn't record that because that was the noisiest thing I've ever done in my entire life. Even the neighbours have come out in force to find out who was killing the cat in the garden. It was that sort of a scream. We've taken it out to 20mm, 22mm even, and let me just release that one out. It actually cut a damn sight easier than I thought it would. What it's given me is a 22mm cavity now, which it's got a little 22mm doodah what's it will slide in there very nicely. Let me just move this, you can't see. 22mm doodah what's it straight in end. Now when we use the Zapper Gap stuff to fill this in, that will do rather nicely, and it's looking like we're in straight, etc, etc. I've got to get now a different bottom button mod for this to be embedded in, and then once that's embedded in, I can start giving this a bit more of a shaping, of a turning sort of stuff. It's going to be tricky, I think, to say the least. But what I'm going to do is probably take down an end ever so slightly on this end, and then work and taper it down to, because I'm going to go down to 22mm with a Fat Daddy, hopefully on that end. Generated some heat, not as much as I thought it would do, but we have our 22mm cavity in there. Like I say, there is still lots of room for things going wonky with this one. If I can get me mod in time for next week, we'll be fixing and gluing. If not, we may have to jump onto something else quickly and pop back to this when it lands. Back to Marco in the studio.
Yes, that was the latest edition of MFT with Mr. Garry Dibley and his next week, and I might run a competition to see how many people can spot how many double entends Garry can get in one VT.
I do not know what you're talking about.
Of course you do. I think chat enjoy your double entends, me old mate. Anyway, let us move on very quickly because we are running out of time, and this is a little VT about the Children in Need show that is coming up soon, and we'll tell you about that directly after, so see you in a second.
and that was the Children in Need raffle, if you like, launch. I will be pressing the button for ticket sales open in the next sort of 30 seconds on UK Vapers forum, which is where I've always kept it, and I'm going to keep it again. It will be going live. It'll be the same rules as last year. Go into the competitions, charity raisers and giveaways section on UK Vapers, and it will be live very, very shortly, where you can enter the draw. Those are the prizes we have so far. Lots more coming in, and we will be doing the live draw here on the 23rd of December. Time for more to come in. If you are a vendor and you are watching this and you want to donate a prize, please talk to me. We need a few more in there if we could. Very, very quickly before we wrap up, you may have noticed tonight I have a mark under my eye, just here somewhere. That was caused by working on the lathe and an explosive blank. I've talked about them in the past. If I wouldn't have had my safety goggles on, that would have taken my eye out. So safety gear is a must. It flew up, deflected off my glasses and stuck in my cheek. A little MFT safety tip there. You do not want one in the face if you don't have to have one. There we go. I'll hand you back to Marco. Time to wrap up. We are very, very late. Cheers, bye. Thank you.
I was doing that to Garry. Wrap up. Yes, so 23rd of December is the plan for the Children in Need show. So get on to UK Vapers and get your tickets bought. Okay, so that was Vaper Scene for this week. Tomorrow night, as it being Wednesday, it's Matt with The Cave. On Thursday, Mr. David Dawn is back with Keith and his Top Pocket with his new studio, or at least as much as he can do between now and then, because he's been working really hard. I've been watching him on Twitter on the pictures, looking really good. And then, of course, you have got Sunday for Dave's Tackle Box with Mr. Dave Kitson. Monday, it's the boys. Yes, it's Andy and Davey with Drips and Tips, and Garry and myself are back next Tuesday. And don't forget, you've got RY4 Radio every night of the week. So go to ry4radio.com for listening pleasure. So that was it. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We'll see you, him and me, we'll see you next week. Say goodbye, Garry.
Goodbye, Garry.
See you later. Cheers.
Vaper Scene is proudly sponsored by Health E-Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and Pure Perfection e-liquid.